Do you know that you spend an average of about 60% of your waking hours at work? That singular statistic tells you that work has a massive impact on our lives. Yet for many people, work is not a place they look forward to every day. And that is because our work is characterized by negative emotions that create an awful amount of stress. No wonder phrases like, "I hate Mondays," or "Thank God it's Friday," are very popular. But why is work so stressful? And what are the negative emotions we have about work? And what's responsible for them? Well, the first is frustration. Researchers claim that about 80% of us are frustrated at work. A whopping 80% of us are dissatisfied at where we spend over half of our lives. We are frustrated because we do not feel that our work has any purpose or real significance. We are frustrated because of the relentless demand to prove ourselves every day. The scale and scope of work continues to grow almost endlessly without commensurate growth. We are constantly required to do more with less. And let me not mention the ever-shrinking compensation and benefit package that never seem enough to cope with the rising cost of living. And every day, many leave home with a nagging overhang that they could be sacked anytime if they slip back, even for one moment. Gloomy, isn't it? Well, that sets us up for the second operative emotion, and that is fear. We are afraid that we may lose our jobs, and if we do, there isn't a fallback position. There is the question of how long it would take to find another job, and how you might support your family if you already have one. And even if we get a new job, wouldn't it just be the same old thing? Well, beneath this fear, however, is even a more disturbing question that eats away at most people every day. It is the question of self-belief that says, am I good enough? Do I have what it takes to succeed? Now, the older you get, the louder these questions become, and the greater your anxiety. So we have the emotions of fear, and we have the emotions of frustration. It's ironic, isn't it, that on the one hand, we are frustrated about our job, and on the other hand, we're scared to death that we're going to lose something that we're frustrated with. In other words, we're stuck between two worlds, and there is a word for that. It is called trapped. Truth be told, Christian or not, this is how many of us feel. But for us Christians, the question is, where is God in all of this? Does God care? Does he have something to say about this? Is it possible that he has a perspective that can change how we feel about work forever? That's what this is all about. Well, the good news is, it turns out that God does have a lot to say about work. He is the author of work. The first week of creation was a work week, and God was at work. So work didn't begin with man. God was the first to work. And I believe that God enjoyed work so much that he couldn't wait to share the joyful feeling of work with man when he eventually created him. Well, now that we know that God is the author of work, the next question is, why work? What was God's purpose for creating work? That's a very important question. But before I attempt to answer it, let me throw the question to you first. Why do you work? Have you ever given that question a thought before? Maybe not. What I did recently was that I went on the streets and asked a few people this question. And I classified their responses into 4 broad categories. People say they work because of, number 1, to make money and pay the bills. Number 2, for identity. Number 3, for purpose and significance. And number 4, for success, for status and recognition. These 4 reasons sum up why many people, perhaps including you, wake up and go every day. What this means is that if people could meet these four needs any other way other than working, many will quit their job first thing tomorrow morning. Well, unless you're married to royalty, won a lottery jackpot, or inherited a large estate, sorry, you don't have a choice. Work, you must. Well, I'll return next time around with the implications of these reasons why people say they work and match them against God's perspective. So be sure to stick around. God bless.